Another rat.
Inviting people into a space where we're going to hold this story.
Love your art. Did you know a lot of the riders were actually women wearing beards?
Yes.
Which gives me such like Monty Python vibes. It's amazing.
Oh. What if Muppets did the Easter story?
If that's all we're looking for, that's what we're going to find. Yeah.
I'm looking for pie.
Hello and welcome, travellers of the whimsical and the profound, to another episode of Faith and Geekery, the podcast where sacred stories and pop culture curiosities meet for tea, biscuits, and the occasional existential crisis. Today we are wandering into the tender territory, the strange, beautiful ways that we talk about death, memory, and hope. So please look after yourself. Brew your tea, straighten your metaphorical marmalade sandwich, and join us as we explore how stories, even the furry fictional ones, help us hold grief, honour memory, and glimpse something like resurrection. Welcome. Hello, friends. Who have we got today? I am Becca, one of your hosts, and this is...
Me, it's me, I think. I think you're pointing at me. I'm Jen. Hello. Good evening.
Jen.
It's lovely to see you all.
Hello, it's Tom, back again after a little couple of weeks away, but good to be back again.
Hello, Tom.
Hi, it's Tim. I'm back from my sabbatical.
Welcome back, Tim.
How was your sabbatical?
Mark.
Was it fun? Oh, Mark's also
Hello.
here.
That should be it. And Mark's also here.
Questioning. That's because my camera's flipped. So when I point that way, I was pointing at Mark, but actually, therefore, pointed at Jenny. It's all very confusing. So let's bring us round to something less confusing, my friends. What geeky things have you been up to? Jen, we'll start with you as I pointed at you first.
Oh, except I would like some more thinking time. I've been geeking out over the Oscars this week, and we shall see in the Geeky Gallery exactly why I've been geeking out about the Oscars. But yeah, I just love the drama. I love the fashion. I love who's there, who's not there. That can be also as much of an information as who is there. Yeah, I've been geeking out over the Oscars, and it's been brilliant.
Nice. Any top favourites in there? Anything that really excited you?
Well, I think Sinners should have got a bigger look in. That's my big takeaway. But I'm glad that it got what it got. But yeah, I think overall Sinners not sweeping the boards at the Golden Globes and the Oscars was a sin, if you will. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm not gonna say anything else for the rest of the evening, so it won't be any better than that.
Tom.
Not been doing huge amounts, mainly been squeezing in space in a manically busy diary to just get a bit of building done. It'll turn up in the gallery later, but been just building some models for various games not had the chance to play. Hopefully some chance to play coming up in the next week or two. That's really been me.
Remind us what you're playing. Let's not make it
absolutely. So models for Warhammer 40,000 and for Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team, which is the little version. Oh, and I've been doing some detective fiction reading. I geek out a bit about detective fiction reading, so I've been getting. I'm part way through the Ellie Griffith, or a long way through the Ellie Griffith series set in Norfolk, but I've come to the end of the ones we've got. So I've nipped back into some Rebus. I'm reading some of the Ian Rankin Rebus short stories at the moment, which are fun because I can read one at a time, nice and quick, and getting back into the deep and dark of Edinburgh, which is good.
It's very cool.
I thought
It's very
said
cool.
Warhammer 40,000 kilt team, and I think that would be a tremendous outfit. Can you imagine to mini paint kilts?
I've seen it done. It is not something that appeals to me, I have to say.
Glorious.
Also having to fight in space in kilts as well. Yeah, that would be amazing. I want to see that now.
Okay, that's a D&D workshop we're going to have to do.
So I thought you were going to merge it with Rebus and like Space Edinburgh or something along those lines. But...
Brilliant.
Oh, there you go. The best ideas born of mishearing. Tim, what have you been up to, my love?
So with my sabbatical, I moved house.
Woohoo.
I started a second D&D campaign that I'm DMing.
Nice.
Which is going to be very fun on Saturday because I'm doing lots of DMing on Saturday. I've now got behind me, for those listening on podcast, a corkboard where 3/4 of it is all the artwork I have ever bought from Comic-Con and local artists in the Lincolnshire area. And we'll ignore the other quarter because that's a connectional map of the Methodist Church in the UK, broken down by staff groups, management, and who's on what committee in there. But ignore that one. But look at all the artwork.
Could you imagine if you accidentally overlap those?
I have thought about it. The fact that if you may not be able to notice, but there is some wool that is now going off from certain points on the map towards certain people. So it is turning into my theory board. But this weekend, there's a tiny little independent bookstore that we've always wanted to go into in Lincoln, and we went into it, and we left having spent money on books. And one of them is
Best story ever.
Is this one, which is called Wayne, which is LGBTQ reimaginations of Scottish folklore.
Ooh.
Nice.
Can we just confirm that's Wayne spelt W-A-I-N, not Wayne as in world?
Not
Wayne.
Wayne as in the Scottish word, not Wayne as in Wayne's World. Correct. So I have that.
For those listening.
And
Thank you.
Hang about. I've got an ear thing. Wayne. Is that from Red Dwarf? Wayne Dweebly.
Dwayne
Dibley.
Wayne Dibley. Thank you. I needed to clarify. Thank you.
Aside from that, I'm doing reasonably well. I've been doing a load of homebrew writing as well for D&D.
Nice.
Which may or may not encounter some people on this screen. And it's all been good. And I've been doing my normal job, which is very geeky in itself.
It is.
And
which is why your head needs to remain in place so that there's no breach of GDPR.
That's the other thing. Pokemon Fire Red came out on the Switch. I got it, and not only have I been playing it, I found my DS, and I got my old Pokemon games out. One of them, unfortunately, doesn't work anymore, but the others do. And we have started a new save for our family, and I am playing the Pokemon games with my child, who is naming all the Pokemon.
Adorable.
Grimer, the Pokemon Grimer, is now known as the Stink Spirit because he's also watching Studio Ghibli.
Nice.
The pink one is Funny Looking Daddy. That's Slowpoke. He does know the name of Zubat because that's Shelby's favourite Pokemon. So we are playing through the Pokemon games with my now 4-year-old tomorrow child.
Nice.
So
amazing.
Happy
birthday tomorrow.
I'm passing on my infinite amount of geeky knowledge of Pokemon to my child early.
Love it. Love it. Well done. This is the way.
Mr. Mark, what have you been up to?
Jen introduced me to Last of Us. So I've been playing that as a computer game. I have
me.
only
Oh,
Only
breach, geeky breach.
Only about 50 minutes worth.
That's
It's like a
50
lifetime.
minutes of
Got
Last
up
of
to
Us
the
or Last of Us 2?
Last of Us.
Just last
Oh,
week.
Have you got up to the infected then? Have you
No.
arrived at? Okay,
No,
okay.
because the story is so long and tedious. I mean, intriguing.
Oh,
Dare
I've met.
you? How
I've met. Is it
dare
Ellie?
you? Yes, it is Ellie. Yes,
Yes. So I've
main
met Ellie now.
character. Yeah. Okay.
I've also been binge watching Young Sherlock, which is the Guy Ritchie
Yeah, nice.
Amazon thing, which feels like it's like Sherlock Holmes meets Peaky Blinders. I think you can enjoy it for not necessarily being Sherlock. It feels a little bit tangential and a bit kind of forced. The fact you find out very early on that he meets Moriarty at Oxford, and you're there kind of going, really, 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 okay. But
Do
I
they
mean,
fall in
yeah.
love? Is it a
No, but
love
there's
thing?
definitely no, but there's definitely a bit of a bromance. They become mates and push each other.
Yeah.
But
I think
it just
that
feels
level of animosity and arch enemy, and I'm tracking you down for the rest of my life. It's definitely because you're heartbroken. It's Dumbledore, like it's because you're heartbroken.
there is an element of that, but I don't think it's anything more than kind of respectful.
It's Guy Ritchie, so it's going to be a bit more rooted in bromance rather than heated rivalry.
Rather than actual love.
Yeah.
Got to say, there's a brilliant cast though, brilliant cast, and it keeps you. There's a good twist and turn and bits and pieces. There isn't like a CGI stained glass night though, which is a reference to young Sherlock of the film variety. But yeah, no, it's good. It's a good watch, and also world building for family friends kind of campaign. That also includes Jenny and our children. So just been kind of setting that up for an Easter.
And pirates, right? Pirates.
You didn't mention pirates.
I didn't mention pirates. That doesn't sound like me. Becca, what have you been up to? What geekiness have you been enjoying?
Well, it is the annual gathering of various role-playing communities around Second Life, where we come together across 6 sims. So it's hundreds of people, and there's kind of warrior tournaments and dance exhibitions and discussions and lots of role-play opportunities for people you don't normally meet, which is really fun. So
very cool. Sounds good.
Really fun.
Sounds very good.
Very good. Shall we have some geeky news?
This is the Faith and Geekery news, broadcast to your home and around the world.
So we
Very
have all
good.
And they will not be mentioned. Oh, who did the geeky news? I've done geeky news, and that's not my geeky news.
no.
That's not the script.
Breaking geeky news. There is
Breaking
lots
geeky
of
news.
geeky news.
Lots of geeky news.
I
Should
did
we
geeky
remove-
news.
Which one are we doing?
For those
Jen, do geeky news. That's great.
For those
So this
listening
is,
on podcast, there's a picture. There's a picture of Mario, but not as you know Mario.
Not at any
Mario.
message.
What is
Lego
this?
Mario.
This is
not
Becca
just any
announcing
Lego,
geeky
a Lego
news.
minifig.
Then Jenny's news coming up, and now we've got audio description by somebody who hasn't even done any of the geeky news.
No.
It's just it feels so meta and broken.
Standard. This is new
Support your
Lego Super Mario.
independence.
This is a new Lego Super Mario set minifig reveal, and it is looking pretty awesome. His mustache alone is worth the cost of the kit. New minifig Mario. Some of the Mario Lego is awesome, though. Some of it looks absolutely amazing. The Mario Kart stuff looks brilliant, so looking forward to that. And then there has been a lot of internet chatter around Firefly,
So
and it does seem to
exciting.
be that it is going to be an animated series, which sounds and looks amazing. Though I'm not sure it's actually been properly confirmed, or whether they're still asking for.
It's been confirmed. It's going to crowdfunding. All the original cast that are living are back, and Joss Whedon is not involved.
That was the
So
big question for me: is Mr. Whedon involved?
Mr. Whedon is not currently involved.
all very dreamy then in that case, because it sounds absolutely perfect. And the fact that it could be animated means that it could go on indefinitely. We wouldn't have to be worrying about the age of the actors. So I think it would be pretty fantastic. We should definitely be, if we've got money, supporting that crowdfunding.
I have a prediction about this.
Uh-huh.
So I think they're doing it through Kickstarter to get the funding for it.
Yeah.
My prediction is that Firefly will not beat Critical Role's record for Kickstarter.
Interesting. I know Firefly's got such a cult following though. Let's see. And then big news is that the Welsh guy, whose name I have now, Michael Sheen, has been named as the successor for House of Games. Is that what it's called?
Yes,
House of Games?
It was formerly Richard Osman's House of Games, will now be Michael Sheen's House of Games.
Now, I love Michael Sheen. I properly love him. I think this makes me want to watch it. I think he's going to be very, very good at this. I think he's going to be funny and dry, and maybe he'll have, mates on who come and play as well. And let's hope for more David Tennant, Michael Sheen.
Maybe Pedro Pascal.
So now then, he's friends with Pedro Pascal. I don't know why that makes me feel more hopeful about meeting Pedro Pascal, not like I know Michael Sheen. So here's Pedro Pascal at the Oscars. And this is news because if you were to zoom in to this picture, you would see he is currently without any facial hair at all, which is a really big deal for some people online. I've got opinions about this. I've got opinions about his lack of facial hair. But, people have gone crazy. The internet has exploded. And I think this is the biggest news of the week.
I was hoping they would.
That's a bold statement. Biggest news of the week. Firefly. It is. Firefly feels much bigger to me personally.
Jason Mustache has its own Instagram account.
There was another Kickstarter that was announced on the same day as the Firefly Kickstarter for the animated series.
Oh yeah, what was it?
Felicia Day, who did the web series The Guild, is doing a Kickstarter to do a Guild movie. Which featured in its web series Nathan Fillion, Will Wheaton, and others. It's a really good web series. I would highly encourage you to go watch it if you haven't already. It's the same. She also did a Dr. Horrible sing-along blog with Neil Patrick Harris and Nathan Fillion as well.
That sounds amazing. Nathan Fillion's kind of torn in two then a little bit there.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Becca, I'm aware that we've kind of drawn up upon one geeky news. Is there more geeky news to be added? I've realised that,
only that Buffy has been cancelled. Sad times. So Buffy's, because she had a reboot as well. Hopefully this does not give us a glimpse of what might happen to Firefly. But they have confirmed that the reboot has been cancelled. It had been floating in development limbo for years, but it is officially dust. So whether you're relieved or disappointed probably depends on how protective you are of the original Slayer mythos.
Chloe Zhao was down to be directing this as well, who was at the Oscars this weekend, and basically said Hulu decided it wasn't marketable.
Bonkers. That's bonkers.
Yeah.
That is bonkers.
Well, Children of Time is becoming a tabletop role-playing game. So it's going back a few weeks to 28th of January, but it's still buzzing in geek circles. It's being adapted to the tabletop game. Rowan, Rook, and Descartes are behind the project, which means we can expect rich world building, evolutionary weirdness, and possibly the chance to role play as hyper intelligent spiders. There you go.
That sounds very cool.
Following the trend for vinyl increasing in popularity, it's been announced that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1990 movie is going to be released on VHS. So for collectors and nostalgia seekers, it's a chance to relive the glory days of rewinding tapes and squinting at tracking lines.
Oh, there's a thing there, do you know? As you're talking about VHS, I'm like, oh, I should buy a VHS player and go back
you go.
and find all the VHSs in charity shops and
Cowabunga analog revival.
Surely that's going
yes.
back a step, because at least with some of the old formats, it reserves the quality, whereas video definitely dipped in quality. And I say this as somebody who had a short role in video conversion and things to DVD and CD, where people are going, oh, well, 20 years ago I converted my cine to video. Can we now convert the video to a DVD? And you start having the conversation with the people saying, have you got the original cine kind of stuff? And they go, oh, no, we binned it. Because you kind of go, oh, that's a shame, because you went from kind of reasonable quality, dip down to rubbish quality, to then go back to DVD quality. And so I can understand why, for example, LPs and vinyls kind of maintain a good quality in its analog recording, transfers over, loses none of the dips and the compression to MP3, etc. Won't bore everyone. But video is a case of it definitely goes down. And
yeah, but there is a nostalgia element to video that it's not actually about the quality. In fact, the lack of quality is part of the VHS experience, right? Like it's definitely a nostalgia.
But my experience is having to fish out and fit
It won't even be
numerous
widescreen.
VCRs.
Yeah.
No, it won't be widescreen.
Do we also think this is a reaction to the state of media ownership?
Maybe.
Yeah, it's that physically owning thing, isn't it?
Biblical ownership.
So there you go. You are listening to Faith and Geekery, where we get grumpy about the news that we receive. And finally, Square Enix music concert has been arrived. They've revealed that a full orchestral concert is coming to Singapore in May 2026. So you can expect sweeping JRPG soundscapes from Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, and more. And basically, it's a liturgically of boss battle themes and emotional damage.
Yes, we want to hear One Winged.
Amazing.
So that's your geeky news for the week.
Very
A
cool.
mix of resurrection, cancellation, nostalgia, and orchestral grandeur.
This is the Faith in Geekery News, broadcast to your home and around the world.
That is beautiful. Can I point out that Pedro Pascal was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer? So
You
just
can
so
point it
both
out. Would you
He
like
was.
to officially
He
point
was.
it out?
Season
word
3,
officially, Pedro
Season 3,
Pascal
episode 1.
was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer for about 3 seconds. So
He was. I mean, spoilers for a show that's over 20 years old. He was the main villain for one episode. He was
for
the
a
monster
whole
of the week.
episode. He was.
did you pause
That's
the
true.
VCR though, Jen? Did you pause the VCR?
I did. I paused it. It got really worn
You
out in
paused it,
that section.
What happened to my Lannis Morissette? It was very confusing. I think before we move into our main focus, I believe we've got time to squeeze in a little bit of a quiz. Tim,
I got questions. The quiz.
Sorry, a bit keen there.
Don't worry, Keen is good. This quiz was written by Becca. So, Becca, you do not have to engage if you do not have to in the quiz because you wrote it.
I won't remember the questions or the answers.
I was going to say, I'm just waiting for Becca to not get full marks. That's
All right, then.
I wish I won't.
It's usual fare. 5 questions, 5 answers. There are going to be no bonus points. Let's just get going. Question number 1. In many heroes' journey stories, what moment is often called the belly of the whale? A. The hero's first victory. B. The hero's refusal of the call. C. The moment of symbolic death or transformation. Or D. The final battle. In many hero's journey stories, what moment is often called the belly of the whale? A. The hero's first victory. B. The hero's refusal of the call. C. The moment of symbolic death or transformation. Or D. The final battle. This question is making reference to, of course, Joseph Campbell's seminal work on the hero's journey, of which I have 5 copies of it on my bookshelf behind me.
Why? Why do you have 5?
I bought a lot of his books and all of his short stories and essays and letters.
You bought a lot of his books, including
did.
the same. You bought a lot of the same
same
one.
book
of his
I've
books.
I have bought a lot of the. There is multiple copies of the same book, as there is also multiple copies of the same video game in this house. But question number 2.
I've just got one.
In the Discworld novels, what unusual hobby does Death take up as he tries to better understand humanity? A. Collecting stamps. B. Learning to cook. C. Taking up gardening. D. Joining a theatre troupe. In the Discworld novels, what unusual hobby does Death take up as he tries to better understand humanity? A. Collecting stamps. B. Learning to cook. C. Taking up gardening. Or D. Joining a theatre troupe. Because
Mark, that face is puzzled. It's puzzled. You should know this one.
Well, I feel as if I know one I would go to immediately, especially rereading one in the last 2 months. But I feel as if there's maybe potentially a second answer there. So I'm intrigued.
Question number 3. Which global mourning practice involves creating colourful altars with food, candles and marigolds to honour loved ones? A. The Tibetan sky burials. B. The Mexican Dia de los Muertos. C. The Irish keening. Or D. The Japanese open lantern floating. Which global mourning practice involves creating colourful altars with food, candles and marigolds to honour loved ones? A. Tibetan sky burial. B. The Mexican Dia de los Muertos. C. Irish keening. Or D. The Japanese open lantern floating. Question number 4, as Jenny stares at me and messes with their hair.
Not in a weird or creepy way.
Not in a weird or creepy way, as the I've got the answer. Next question, please. In the world of comics, which superhero famously confronts Death, who is a personified character, sometimes even flirting with them, nay, pursuing them? A. Batman. B. Spider-Man. C. Doctor Strange. Or D. Thanos. In the world of comics, which superhero famously confronts Death as a literal personified character, sometimes even flirting with her, nay, pursuing her? A. Batman. B. Spider-Man. C. Doctor Strange. Or D. Thanos. I will say there is actually a bonus point, as there is a bonus answer to this not listed there. There's a fun thrown in there. And finally, in the musical Hades Town, what ultimately motivates Orpheus to journey into the underworld to confront Hades? A prophecy that he must fulfill. B. His desire to reclaim his lost voice. C. His love for Eurydice and his determination to bring her back. Or D. A bargain he made with Hermes. In the musical Hades Town, what ultimately motivates Orpheus to journey into the underworld to confront Hades? A prophecy he must fulfill. B. His desire to reclaim his lost voice. C. His desire for his love for Eurydice and his determination to bring her back. Or D. A bargain he made with Hermes. The answers, starting with question number 1. In many Hero's Journey stories, what moment is often called the belly of the whale? Those on screen, hands up if you put down A. No one. Hands up if you put down B.
I can't remember. I can't remember.
That's the refusal of the call.
Oh, okay,
C.
no.
Hands up if you put down C. Jenny. Hands up if you put up D. Oh, Tom, are you C or D?
C.
C. The answer is C. The moment of symbolic death or transformation is the narrative point where the hero dies to their old self and emerges changed.
Did you put your hand up for D?
No, for C, because I did remember all of the answers, so it doesn't count.
Good. Okay, good. Becca wins. It
I
was
thought it was a
Jonah.
reference to Jonah, you see.
It was Jonah.
But the belly of the whale is the point of where hasn't he rejected everything and refused to call
It's
it?
also known as the cave in some aspects as well. It's got like multiple different names. This should be the fun one for you, Mark. The Discworld novels. What unusual hobby does Death take up as he tries to better understand humanity? Mark, what answer did you put down?
I put B, learning to cook.
Jenny, what did you put down?
Oh, I put theatre or gardening.
Tom, what did you put down?
I put gardening.
The answer is taking up gardening. To quote Becca's answer here, because nothing says grappling with the human condition quite like a 7-foot skeleton tending to flowers.
But Mort goes and becomes a cook and then looks after cats in Mort. That's what he chooses to do. Is that a part of the question? Right, okay, fair enough. I'll accept my fate. But I literally read about it last month. That's what
I feel
Death
like what you're
chooses
doing
to
there is you're being too geeky. You've overgeeked. You've overgeeked into a wrong answer.
And that's what, because he loves cats as well. Anyway.
Question number
carry
3.
Doesn't do
Which
that.
global mourning practice involves creating colourful altars with food, candles and marigolds to honour loved ones? If you have watched the movie Coco.
Yes, good.
The answer is Dia de los Muertos, or also known as the Day of the Dead.
Good for you.
As seen in Coco.
Thank you once again to Disney for teaching us of these things.
Question number 4. In the world of comics, which superhero famously confronts the character, confronts death as a literal character, as personified, and sometimes even flirting with her, nay, pursuing her? The answer is Thanos. However, as a bonus answer, if you put down just Deadpool actively is in a relationship with death.
Nice.
They actively flirt, and the reason that Deadpool is immortal is because Thanos was upset that he was being spurned by death, and therefore cursed Deadpool with immortality, so he could never spend his eternal death with death.
Nice.
Nice.
That's brilliant.
Deadpool and Death also have a daughter in the comics.
I'd also put Agatha because of the way that the TV series went, but I realised that
Agatha
was
is
more...
also yes. Agatha's that's a different personification of death as well.
Oh, okay.
But
Nice though, like it.
we like a bit of death. And in the musical Hadestown, which ultimately motivates Orpheus to journey into the underworld to confront Hades.
Well,
is...
I put love.
Yeah, the answer is love.
Love.
His love for Eurydice, his determination to bring her back, and the whole musical turns on love's stubborn hope in its heartbreaking fragility.
Ah, there is the story, the love story, isn't there, of that exact thing, but it's not those people. I'm telling this really, really well. You know, the really famous love story. What's it called? You know, the Greek one.
Romeo
about
and
love.
Juliet? Oh.
Eros. Carry on.
Wait,
Carry
what?
on. Eros, the story of Eros and the one that Eros is in love with. Very, very famous, and it is basically Shakespeare stole it all the time. You know, where they have to go.
He stole quite a lot of historical Greek stuff.
They have to go into the underworld to save him. Carry on, it's fine. I'm going to Google it.
So I'm just while we circle round, can I just check? So the Day of the Dead, which was the answer to that one. Which letter was that?
B.
That
B.
was B.
Ah, okay. That's
It
fine.
was
I got.
It was Irish Keening.
No. I got Day of the Dead. That
Psyche.
was fine. I just can't remember what letter it was. But
There we go. That's the quiz.
Psyche and Eros. The love story between Psyche and Eros. Thank you very much.
I got questions. The quiz.
Is that the story between love and like heart and brain then?
Yeah, I think it's. Yeah, I think it's symbolically. So yeah, but also with the way love can overcome anything as long as you're committed and you use your head.
Yeah, except that's not what happens in Hades Town.
No, because that isn't that story. Because that's
proper
not
Greek
what that's
tragedy.
based on.
I just knew it from the Greek tragedy rather than
Yes, it is.
rather than
It's
any
a
of the-
proper Greek tragedy. Well, do you think
Greek
it's
story?
time to wander a little deeper into today's theme, my friends?
Let's go further down into hell.
Yes. So we're
Go for
at a curious crossroads where a small bear in a blue duffel coat meets the big unwieldy topic of death. Somehow, particularly in the UK, Paddington has become an unexpected companion in moments of collective grief and a soft-furred guide helping us navigate feelings that are anything but soft. So in this segment, we're going to explore why this fictional bear has become such a powerful symbol of comfort and memory and gentle mourning. What is it about Paddington that helps us talk about loss without losing our footing? Why do whimsical images become anchors in times of sorrow? And what does it say about us and our faith that we reach for stories when words otherwise fail? So get your marmalade sandwiches ready, and we're going to have a little bit of chat. Mark, I think it was you that brought Paddington to the table.
Yeah.
Was it?
And I feel as if we should start off with just a bit of a sensitivity warning that we are covering death, and therefore, if you're of a sensitive disposition, we're going to be talking about kind of death, and therefore conversations around that, looking into the kind of the void, or maybe not, I'm not sure, but existential dread, etc., etc. So just kind of journey lightly, carefully with yourself, and if you need to put us on pause or otherwise, then we'll completely understand. But yeah, I think this is something that has become. I mean, I've always been fascinated with death of sorts, and this is just kind of the latest kind of personification, especially of this kind of nature and this relationship of kind of guiding souls to the afterlife, of where we've talked about the Greek tragedies. I've had a fascination with Hans Holbein, the younger, who talks about the dance with death, where nobody's off the cards. There's like 34 depictions. So for like over 500, 600 years, we've talked, or even longer regarding the Greek stuff, about kind of imagery of death and kind of taking people and guiding them on. And it was just in 2022 where the Queen passed away, and the artist Eleanor Tomlinson did a watercolour of the Queen, the late Queen, in holding hands with Paddington, and since then, when the Pope passed away, we then had this transferal of the Pope then holding hands with Paddington, and therefore suddenly this has become this quite a unique image and imagery thereof, of kind of Paddington being the avatar of death, or the kind of the trusted hand, dare I say. And it's just quite fascinating how kind of modern culture has taken this Perusian bear of fiction and otherwise to become a symbol of safe travel to what goes beyond.
And there was that picture that I found absolutely fascinating, where he was sat next to the Pope after the Pope had passed away. This was an AI generated one, but it circulated on social media, I think. And he was sat next to the Pope and Princess Diana, and they were all having a glass of champagne in what I presume was heaven. So there is this sense of, like, Paddington somehow is going to act as a bridge for those that have passed away, that he's going to somehow transport them to this safe place where they will then get to be reunited with people in this place, and not just that, but also enjoy like a kind of lavishness that is experienced in heaven. Because when you think about it, what has any of that got to do with the Paddington stories, really? What is that? What is that about?
We're overlooking that story of where Mr. Brown accidentally goes to hell and Paddington goes on a lovely jaunt to, you know.
Oh yeah, I forgot
Oh
that
no,
bit.
Mr. Brown.
But I think when you're talking about that in between, Paddington is an in between sort of character. He's in a country that isn't his country. He's with a family that isn't his family. He is an in between sort of bear. He was lost and then he was found. And there's something about holding hands, even going into the unknown, that he knows. He's done that journey. He's traveled that journey. Which is quite, and there's a sweet innocence about that he knows that experience, but also that comes with his lived experience of lostness.
So there's something about his character which means that he is suitable for this job. And the I was having a quick Google search of it. It's a psychopomp. Have you heard of that?
Oh no,
before?
explain.
So it's the ferryman, or it's the in between person. It's the one that can do that journey between life and death and can take those souls that are for whatever reason deserving into an afterlife that is positive, and those souls that aren't deserving into the afterlife that's negative. But it's their job to ferry between. And this idea, this trope, is seen through cross-culturally. So in ancient Egypt, it was a couple of different gods did that. In Greek and Roman mythology, you've got a similar idea. And then in Christianity, you've got this idea of St. Peter being the one guarding the pearly gates and measuring souls as they enter.
But there's also, I guess, dare I say, just delving into kind of 90s evangelism traits in the UK, we'd often talk about Jesus being the trusted pilot, as the pilot of the plane, and that we could, that we might not know of the other trustworthiness of the pilots, but at least we knew kind of Jesus was going into the right destination because he's gone ahead of us. I hope that's not too much of a niche thing, but it does kind of lean into that kind of idea of trust, of somebody who is able to kind of transport us somewhere safety. And I guess maybe is that where Paddington fits into this remit again, as Becca said, about kind of somebody who travels, somebody who is an outsider, somebody who is able to look into the human condition as kind of person but kind of not. And because in some respects, and I'm sure I'm going to get graded for this, it is a bit ridiculous that it is an actual bear, but yet it is a bear that talks
in a duffel coat.
Yeah, it's a bear that has clothes. It loves marmalade sandwiches, and yet he gets treated like a human, and kind of madness ensues. But actually, there is love. There is kind of acceptance, and dare I say, with the films, you have this kind of shows the quirkiness and weirdness of the human condition, and he breaks down barriers through his trustworthiness, through his just genuine love and compassion, despite all the accidents and emergencies. He is somebody that kind of walks that path gently, and therefore is a trustworthy companion.
Barrier, isn't it? It's the ultimate barrier. It's the thing that you can't see around, you can't imagine the other side of. And I wonder why this kind of whimsical character has been so latched onto, because the only way we can imagine what death might be like is with our imagination. And it's just it's a vehicle that helps us. And you see that at funerals all the time is kind of quite whimsical poems, whimsical songs that give an idea of the other side, but we can't know.
So
I wonder if it goes. Oh, sorry, Tom.
No, go on.
I wonder if it goes beyond whimsy actually into a childlikeness, and because Paddington it's so innocent and actually disruptive in his innocence that he comes along and becomes disruptive because he just assumes compassion and he assumes kindness and he assumes empathy, and then he's met with actually the world that is not compassionate or kind, especially to immigrants, right? So like he's he assumes compassion and then is disruptive in that, because other people kind of bash up against his own kindness. And actually that childlike innocence of assumption of kindness is something that he brings. I saw Cyrano de Bergerac at the RSC recently. Absolutely fantastic. Go see it. It's amazing. Adrian Lester, loved every second of it. When he dies at the end, he's picked up, actual spoiler alert, he is picked up by a child, and the child takes him off the stage into this very bright light. So he's doing that journey into death. And it turns out that the child has been there throughout the play, has been kind of intermingled throughout the play, and is the representation of himself as a child, and kind of where things started even to unravel in his story from being a child and falling in love, and things not going right for him, and then things being put in motion. But there is this sense of innocence that is both redemptive and disruptive, and I think Paddington represents that.
All of which I agree with, and all of it which leaves me asking the question about how does then Paddington end up becoming a representation of, for want of a better word, the ferryman, or the angel of death, because the ferryman stroke the angel of death makes no judgment. Death in the Discworld novels turns up for the baddies just as much as the goodies. Death turns up for everyone. But can we imagine a picture of somebody we really dislike, or the world really dislikes? I'm not going to name anybody because then we'll get in all kinds of trouble. Who
Name them.
We're all
dies?
thinking it.
Who dies and then gets pictured with Paddington? Because I don't think we can. Yet that's precise. If we're actually going to be honest about,
But that is the story of Paddington, isn't it? Is that Paddington absolutely would find something redemptive in the person that we would all write off, because it's Paddington.
But he gives his bear stare, though, doesn't he?
Yeah.
To those
I mean, it doesn't mean, but that he still holds people with a level of compassion, acceptance, because he's been on the other side of not having it.
And continually expects them to do better. There's this sense of, oh no, hang about, that wasn't kind. You can do better than that.
Yes, the do better of Paddington.
Yeah.
And if that's one of the things that, if someone has any belief in any sort of afterlife, the hope that doing better doesn't have a use by date, that journey continues, that doing better is still an option, then it would be Paddington, I'd hope, was holding my hand.
I think, I think also in the films there is redemption even with the people who have been proven to be criminal, whether that's in prison, but you also kind of get the Hugh Grant character singing at the end, and that it's not as if he's like kind of really feeling the full sentence of being imprisoned. He gets his audience. Sorry, that's another actual spoiler.
But that's because Paddington went. That's because Paddington went before him and made it a better place.
Yeah,
he made it into a 5-star
Paddington
cafe.
Transformed prison.
Yeah.
Yes,
he transformed.
He did. He did. And then at the very, very end, they're doing that amazing musical, aren't they? So not only has he transformed a place, he's transformed the people and their experience of themselves and the story that they get to tell and sing and share. But yeah, absolutely. I think that Becca said before, he's been there already. He's done the journey already. And that resonates quite deeply with me. That if we're facing a very unknown experience that we can only guess at and watch from this perspective, when we actually experience it ourselves, I long to do that with a journeyman, a fellow person who has already done, companion who's already done the journey, who can say it's this way, this is what we do, this is how we go. And if they're compassionate and kind, all the more, all the better.
But there's also something here as well, isn't there, that actually Paddington is it brings joy. It brings kind of love, and you only have to see the blue kind of coat and the red and the hat, and you don't even have to see his face, and you go, oh, there's association there. And actually, when you're dealing with such a sensitive topic as death, to talk about kind of, to have something of hope, to something that is that kind of childlike optimism, actually, it kind of does a lot of work that where, actually, dare I say, when we're talking about death, a lot of people don't want to go there. I'm reminded of when I did a hospital visit a long time ago when I was a student, and somebody said, "Oh, I don't want to talk about God." I went, "Okay, that's fine." And I just went and sat next to this chappie, and then he went on to talk about a prayer about his dog. And the prayer was about, say, recognizing this old mutt and kind of has got a gammy leg but continues to be faithful, and then he read this prayer to me about this dog, and I kind of walked away thinking that was not about the dog.
No, absolutely.
That was the vehicle for him to talk about faith and to pray to God about something, and that was that vehicle, that was that kind of ability to kind of transcend where he couldn't use language because it was too painful, where actually this is an image that
an image or a story carrying something incredibly heavy.
I mean, I'm thinking around, why Paddington at that time, and what it's coming back to, what my brain's coming back to, is Paddington being kind of, even though Paddington is an immigrant in the story and all this, is very much a very British
national treasure who is an immigrant,
but also was like kind of shepherding in the end of an era in the death of the Queen. Spoilers.
Do we have to press the spoiler button?
No, I think that's not a spoiler. That's just a.
I think that's widely known.
So if you think about like how much of history, the Queen actually oversaw and how ingrained into society, even if people dislike the monarchy, such as myself, actually, like there is an aspect of actually you were so ingrained into culture, into history, into society, that was a massive unnerving for wider society at the time, and that would have impacted not only children, saying this is massive public figure who we know about is suddenly gone, but actually how that's impacted everyone else around them at the same time.
But also
how to reflect with the national mourning as well.
But also a national figure who was already associated with Paddington Bear because of the Jubilee and the sketch in the Jubilee. Yes. So attaching Paddington and the wonders of his character to the Queen at that point made sense. Once you move it into, for me at least, and I accept I may be the fringe kind of almost cynic on this particular occasion, attaching him, for example, then to the Pope seems really weird to me. I mean, excessively weird.
But then you can use this the other way, can't you? That actually, I agree with you, Tom. That I think it's the association with the Olympics where I was sat down with the Queen and the Paddington, or was it her?
I think it was the Jubilee. I think it was.
The Olympics was James Bond.
Well, I was going to say because
if you died around the same time in the movies as the Queen did.
Right, 1 second. Actual spoilers. Yet
again.
He says James Bond will be back into the movie.
Okay,
but can you imagine Bond taking the Queen?
Well, this is what I was going to try to get to. Is that, can you imagine that it would be completely different, wouldn't it, as somebody who is an assassin, but yet still part of British culture and tradition, and yet kind of that becomes a bit weird, doesn't it? It's like, did he take her out?
I think it's really British in some ways because it's so sentimental that it's a way of talking about death without really talking about it. It's a kind of making it. And again, in that childlikeness, it's making it something that is easily kind
palatable.
Of seen, palatable and digested without really challenging us. At the end of the day, I don't want Paddington when I die. I want something much more robust than that, much more certain than, a soft bear that doesn't really know. Pedro Pascal, with or without moustache.
But
with or without moustache.
Doesn't that ask questions about what we think about childhood as well? Because in my experience, actually, children are far better actually at asking the deep questions, and actually it's what we think about. Oh no, we can't tell the children. Tell the children that that little Rover has been taken to the farm and we won't see him again. No, tell the kids it's dead.
Yeah.
Actually,
But
they'll
again,
grasp that.
But again, we don't though, do we? Because actually we have Peter Pan, and therefore Peter Pan is this person who takes children away in the night. And in the Peter Pan case, they return, as in the Wendy, in the Darling family, they return. But Peter Pan, the story of that was much more sinister, about kind of children dying in the night. But then also you kind of have other kind of glimpses of the various nursery rhymes that we talk about around Ring a Ring of Roses and all this kind of stuff. Like, this is so bleak. You kind of go, why what on earth are we doing this for? But anyway, sorry, I'm going off on a bit of a tangent.
I find Paddington the opposite of that, though, because I think those old nursery rhymes are genuinely trying to engage kids and adults, their parents, with a really, really tough concept. Like, I think that's saying, yes, we all will die. That's like, nursery rhymes are absolutely about death surrounds us. Paddington as the angel of death thing is about trying to make it not that. That's, I think, and they think that's why it doesn't sit very comfortable with me. I agree with Tom.
I'm aware of time, but and we could easily talk about Disney as well, and how death is represented in a lot of Disney, about loss in the first instance, and in the Belly of the Whale moment, that kind of there's that kind of harrowingness, but then at least there is something here. We talk about kind of even after death. This is what it bridges, is that kind of hope beyond death, and I think that's what we hope for. And I know as a Christian we can say this easily, but I think even across all of society we have this hope of moreness in the universe, or reincarnation, or something extra, something more, and I kind of
journey to something.
And
I think I would put it almost, I'm just thinking about this, if I'm grieving, so if I'm the one grieving, I would very happily have Paddington holding my hand and offering me a marmalade sandwich. But if I'm the one who's died, I need something else. Possibly,
Paddington won't cut it.
Possibly a 7-foot.
Paddington wasn't. Paddington wasn't for the Queen, was he? It was for the collective mourners who were mourning, on the internet and all the rest of it.
But the picture is of Paddington with the Queen. I would much rather have seen pictures of Paddington standing alongside the mourners and the piles of flowers than Paddington as Death, or the Angel of Death, with the Queen. I want Death to be a 7-foot skeleton with a scythe and a black cloak.
I do not. If I get a choice in this, just to be very clear, I'd like it on record for posterity. No 7-foot Angel of Death.
So that kind of like leads to the question anyway. Like, all these images anyway, or the Angel of Death, is it for those that have died or those that stay behind?
Well, they're dead.
I think it's neither. I think it's for those. Well, I guess it is those that stay behind, not as they're grieving, but as a warning that this is something we all face. So, if that's the case, what are you going to do about it?
We come full circle to Hans Holbein the Younger and his dance, which is actually, look into that. They're really fantastic wood cuttings. I'm aware of time, and so
I feel I have hinted strongly by putting up the Geeky Gallery frame.
It's the gallery.
It's the gallery. To come full circle back to the living, active, flourishing human beings that are on our Discord channel, Jenny is going to take us through the lives that have been shared.
Yes, so Specky Geek starts us off this week. And I feel like that rhymed. Hang about, I'm trying to find the... Yeah, so this is... Oh, no, wait, go back. So Specky Geek talks about this being a very rare card that he has found. And it looks fantastic. Do you know more about it, Tim? Say more.
Magic the Gathering.
It's not. It's Riftbound, which is from the League of Legends video game series and lore. So yeah, it's a new. I haven't yet played it yet, and I want to.
Brilliant.
But it's the same vein as Magic the Gathering, but it is.
So
yeah.
Riftbound. So Specky Geek says that he doesn't usually buy boosters for collectible games because he'd rather just buy the cards. However, this one, this new game, he was very excited about. So yes, and it looks amazing. This is Cyberstone. So his eldest had taken apart the hello there, and it's a Rubik cube, and it was completely taken apart. However, following YouTube and his own intuition, he has sorted it. And then also a bit of downtime silly craftiness. But you say silly, but it looks absolutely amazing. Converting a cheap Peppa Pig charity shop find into a DM. It looks
Castle
fantastic.
Grayskull.
Yeah,
it's slowly
for
getting
the
there.
DM cover, right? Like it looks brilliant.
It's for like the DM screen. I've got rid of the kind of the cross window frames because that was making it still look a bit too 90s Peppa Pig. But I haven't glued it all yet, and I'm still wondering about what else to print to it. But yes, it would be functional D&D
Shaping up nicely. This is our own Lydia visiting cows in a field, and they look adorable. I think the next screen is also fields in a cow looking super cute. I mean, how can they see? How can they even see? They're just too cute. I love them so much. They are so beautiful. And the last, oh no, this is also Lydia. You have to zoom right in on this one, but it is all of the fours on her car mileage. Very satisfying.
Nice.
Right. Just love
Remember,
that
if you're
moment.
going to take a picture of your really fun mileage, make sure your car is parked and is stationary, and you are safe to do so.
Yeah, I
Indeed.
love that. Thank you for that warning.
It was 0, so she was stationary.
It was
definitely.
0. She was okay. Handbrake was on. And Tom, I think this is a picture
Yep.
of your amazingness.
Yeah, this is me. So that's my little kill team. I decided they needed finishing off with a little bit of extra bright green, so that just to add a little bit of extra pop, and then some very currently grey models, which have been built but are yet to be painted. So those are some new releases. Which
We're looking
No
forward to.
kilts, I noticed.
No kilts. No
Are
kilts.
the,
No
are the
kilts.
pink are the pink ones like inspired by My Little Pony?
they're actually red. They look pink in that picture, but they are
They look
red.
really pink, but also you just said like My Little Kill Team. And
My little
thinking
kill
of, like,
team. Totally love it. If you are listening and
That's the
want
next
to
crossover.
show us your geeky amazingness, find us on Discord and pop it in the Geeky Gallery, and it will be presented next time.
It will. So, dear listeners, as we tuck away our marmalade sticky reflections for another day, we send you with a blessing fit for pilgrims of both faith and fandom. May the stories you carry, the soft, surprising ones that sneak up on you like a small bear with impeccable manners, remind you that gentleness is not weakness, and memory is not merely looking back, but holding love in the present tense. And may the symbols that comforted a weary world, a blue coat, a shared cup of tea, a quiet moment of kindness, continue to teach us how to honour what has been lost without losing our capacity for wonder. Until we see you again, geek safe.
Bye.